Back to the show. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell. In today's episode, I'll be talking about what happens when a man stops leading. So I do these YouTube lives every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And if you guys are watching this on the live, hello. And if you guys are watching this on a rerun, hello too. Leave a comment below, hit the like button, share it to your friends. But that being said, I will go right into the episode. And I would like to start out the episode with a recap episode, which is on gently leading. So if you guys are ever interested on watching my previous episodes on what I'm going to be talking about, today's is going to be on gently leading. The slide will be men lead, women follow. Now, this is going to be related with what I'm going to be talking about today. And today's gonna be a little bit different though, for sure, because normally what I would do is I would give a lot of scenarios, I will give examples, and I'll talk about certain things that may or may not relate to you. Chances are it's pretty relatable, right? But in this case, in today's episode, I'll be talking about, hold on, give me 1 second. Is this right? Yeah. In today's episode, it's going to be a video newsletter because I've received an email from someone that I've been talking to, and she needs some advice. And so I thought, hey, you know what? This might be a good episode, and let me help you out with this. But anyways, let's go with the recap episode of Gently Leading. Men lead, women follow. So the word lead means to go first. There you will set the tone, okay? And a true alpha male energy creates the space and environment that allows women, which is feminine energy, willingly to submit to the man, because she wants to follow his lead. See, Jaywalkers, what's up? G-Man lover, ex-G-Man lover. All right, so if you're a lady, right? And if you're holding these type of energy and you're saying, and if you're a woman and you're saying like, hey, I don't need a man, you're like, that's a lot of masculine energy, right? Like there's all this aggressiveness that it's unnecessary, right? And if it means that, hey, you know what, you're tired of men, you don't want to deal with them anymore, by all means, don't be around them. But if you still would like a nice man in your life, what the mindset should be is, to take a step back. It's like, you know what? There's a lot of shitty men out there, and I totally agree with that. What I would recommend for you is to understand, like, hey, maybe there's something that I need to do. Maybe there's something that I need to work on because, there's some attitudes that I might have that's pushing men away. Maybe I'm not being feminine enough, right? There's a possibility from there too, right? So if you're a woman and you're listening to this, you consider this. How can I become more feminine? What are some of the things that I can do to act more feminine? And if you're a guy, you could say to yourself, well, what are some of the things that I need to do as a guy to be more masculine, right? And if you guys are ever curious about that, I have plenty of episodes on my YouTube live section. And feel free to listen to those episodes because I go into like full details about like what masculine energy is and what feminine energy is. So let's see. Okay, so with this whole attitude of, look, I don't need a man to make me happy, etc. Like I said, if it's coming from a place of anger and frustration, you will never find or keep a quality person, right? Or guy in your life. Or if you're fearful that he might do something behind your back. Maybe you're in a relationship and you're fearful that he might do something behind your back. It's only a matter of time where he's gonna leave you, because what you focus on expands, right? What you fear, you attract. What you look at disappears. What's up, Tracy? So quality people, all right? Now, my next bullet point is quality people tend to vibrate with quality people, because what happens is that like attracts like. Right? If it's not yours, it will never be yours. Okay. This is why being in a good place yourself is so crucial. It's so crucial to be in a good place with yourself first. I'm interested in listening to the whole email. Okay. I can't wait to explain it. I don't know if it's going to be an hour long today, but I'll see what I could do. Okay. So quality people tend to vibrate with quality people, like attracts likes. And if it's not yours, it'll never be yours. So that's why it's crucial to be at a good place yourself first, right? If I'm not, so a lot of people like to think that, hey, look, if I get this, I'll be happy. If I find a girlfriend, I'll be happy. If I'm in this relationship, I'll be happy. Or if I get this promotion, this job, whatever, then I'll be happy. It's like happiness will always disappoint you, okay? Because you're looking at happiness as a destination, and it's not a destination. It happens one step at a time, and it happens in increments. And you don't stay happy all the time. That's bullshit. Like we're human. We have highs and lows, right? But the main idea is, so, well, when I am unhappy, what are some of the things that I can do for myself to get back into my center so that I could operate my best? And let's see. Okay. Okay. Last one is, you be constantly chasing of what's missing. If that's what you're looking for, like, oh, I need this to be happy. I need this. You're always going to be in this constant chase. And you'll always be missing something, because your life is focused on what you don't have rather than being grateful for what you do have. That being said, I'm going to start out with the newsletter that one of my viewers has sent to me. So this is a video newsletter, and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to give my input on it, okay? So it goes. So I have this boyfriend who I completely have fallen in love with. It's been since July 2022 since we met. I enjoy having him around. We didn't start dating until the first day of January. So that's about a year and 3 months from today, right? January 2023. So they stopped being casual and they're getting a little bit serious. So far so good, right? So far so good. Things were going good with dates. Very important, right? Spending time at home together and raising my son, who looks up to him, together. So he's kind of like this man, this manly figure in this house, right? Like he's the masculine energy, right? That the son looks up to him. She's head over heels in love with him. So now she says, so I have this problem that I have solely started taking care of him financially. And for people that's watching this too as well, feel free to leave comments so that I can read it too, so that let's get our inputs together. Okay, let's work together. So she says, I have this problem. I have solely started taking care of him financially. We got an apartment together, and in the midst of it, he lost his job. In the midst of it, he lost his job. And we spoke a little bit, and from what she told me, she said that they had an agreement that they were going to move in together. One person's going to sign the lease. I think it was him that was going to sign the lease, but they went in together that they were going to pay for it together, 50-50. They're going to pay for it together 50-50, right? If rent was $2,000, she's going to pay $1,000. He's going to pay $1,000. The problem here is that he lost his job. And I could totally understand that, we all go through tough times, right? You can have great times, you can have tough times, right? And so what ends up happening is that when you go into this type of agreement, and this goes for anybody, but especially men too, right? When you go into agreement that you're going to do something, and you said that you were going to do something, in this situation, pay 50-50, and you don't do that, well, guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna cause anybody to not trust you. Not just trust your masculine core, but nobody's gonna trust you. Okay, maybe you're going through a tough time right now, and you're dealing with some things in your mind, and you can't pay for it. Well, that's why it's important to have backup, right? You have to have some sort of money reserved, because eventually nobody's gonna take care of you. Everybody has to participate in their own rescue. What's up, Bree? How you doing? So now this viewer said, we got an apartment together and he lost his job. And so what I said was, most women will deal with a man's, you know, hard time, his, you know, going through a rough time for about 6 to 12 months. And then after that, she's going to get tired of it eventually. And so she says, I gave him a chance to get things together, find a job, and, you know, to get on his feet. He lost his job in August of last year. So that's August 2023. We're going on May. So it's pretty close to May. So that's about 9 months, give or take, right? Give or take 9 months. And so she's getting tired of it. And like I said earlier before, most women would deal with you for about 6 to 12 months. So it's about that time, right? And now and still nothing has changed, right? And as a man, this is me saying this. As a man, you should always focus on your mission and your purpose. Okay, and I explain this so much. And the reason why it's so important for a guy to have a mission and a focus is because guess what's gonna happen if you have a mission and a focus? If your mission is to be like, well, this is what I'm gonna do. I don't care if I'm gonna succeed or not. I'm gonna do it regardless because this is who I am. This is what I want to do, right? Eventually, if you love what you do, you're gonna be fucking amazing at it. Anything that's kind of ordinary, you become extraordinary at it. And then eventually, somebody's gonna notice that. But if you don't have any direction in life as a guy, what makes you think that anybody could follow your lead? Anywhere you go, they'll be like, where the fuck are we going, right? And so how is anybody, especially a person you're supposed to lead, masculine energy, leading feminine energy, how she's going to feel safe and comfortable to want to follow you? Especially if you say you're gonna pay 50-50 and then you don't, right? I get that people go through hard times. Maybe you could work at anywhere. I'm pretty sure there's going to be places that's hiring, right? Maybe it's below your pay grade, but that doesn't mean that you're above what you're supposed to do. Hey, shit happens. You lost your job, right? Do what you got to do to at least make that ends meet, instead of like support, like having her fully taking on that responsibility of paying you financially, right? For the bill or for the rent. All right. So, like I said, it's been about 9 months and she's already kind of getting tired of it. And now still nothing has changed. And so, right now, as the guy, he's displaying a lot of behaviors of someone who is incompetent or someone that's kind of unwilling to work. He's kind of lazy, right? And nobody wants to be around someone that's lazy. No one wants to be around somebody that will pick up someone's slack. Eventually, you have to participate in your own rescue. By all means, like, you can always help somebody as long as they're willing to help themselves. There's a difference between doing something for somebody and helping them do what they need to do. It's like, hey, can you give me a hand? I need some help to help maybe lift this sofa, right? Because 2 people is way easier, right? It is way easier. But then right now he's just sitting at home and he's like, yeah, why don't you do this all by yourself? And so that's not the type of work, or that's not the type of masculine energy that you're not showing any type of masculine energy. So she says that he works part-time. He works a part-time job, but it's not really part-time. It's more like a seasonal work. So from what it sounds like, it just sounds like it's just more of an on-call kind of thing, where it's like maybe there's like events and they'll be like, hey, there's an event coming up. We need people to do valet. Can you do it? Or, hey, there's an event coming up. You used to do catering. Like, do you think you could show up and, we pay you like $30-40 an hour for this catering event, right? So now she's obviously writing this because she's still concerned. She doesn't want to leave the relationship, but she's on the verge of leaving if nothing really changes. She also continues to say that I feel as if he's not tried to put in as much energy into finding a job. He'd rather be on Call of Duty and play with his cousins instead of finding a job, let alone spend time with me when I get home from work, right? So Someone live randomly. What topic are you talking about today? Hi, Lisa. I'm talking about. So I'm a relationship coach, and I'm talking about what happens when a man stops leading. When he stops leading the relationship. So welcome to the chat. But I'm reading a video newsletter right now. So it says, I feel like he's not tried. He's not putting energy into finding a job. He rather play Call of Duty and instead of finding a job, let alone spend time with me when I get home from work, right? When a woman doesn't feel heard and understood, the legs close. When she feels heard and understood, well, guess what happened? Legs open, right? So right now, most relationships end because one or two things that you don't do. You stop making her feel heard and understood, and you stop dating and courting her. So if he's already, by the time she comes home and he's maybe playing Call of Duty, right, hanging around with some friends or whatever, cousins, and you're not, chances are, if you're already not really talking to her, you're not going to really put in a lot of effort into the relationship. So chances are, if I was a betting man, I don't think you're dating and courting her. I don't think you're going to be dating and courting her. You're not taking her out to dates, right? And the number one most important thing that should always happen is when you go home from work or when she comes home from work, the first thing that you should do is you should always give her the attention. Like, oh, hey, baby, how was work today? How was your day today? Like, talk to her. Nothing else is more important than her. Talk to her and see how she is, because you never know what someone else is going through. And so you want to be able to listen to her so that she feels like she's being appreciated. And she said that I have begun to lose hope and feel insecure in a relationship. So that's exactly what I was thinking already. Like, she doesn't feel safe and comfortable. She doesn't trust his masculine core. Thank you. I don't normally watch, like, I don't know, dating coach content, but I'm so invested right now. It's a different approach, but thank you for staying. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, this whole I don't want to talk about it, right? If you want a relationship to work, she's going to be your most important person, and if she values you, she's going to do the exact same thing too as well. And if that's something that you like, hey, you know, I you know what I love that you do? I love it when I come home from work and you always ask me how my day was. It always makes me feel very special. It makes me feel that I'm very important in your life. And she's going to be like, of course, what makes you think that you're not important? It's just, I don't know. It's just all the little things that you do. And it makes me feel very loved. And I love you for that. And those are little tiny things that you could say, little actions that you could do that can make your relationship flourish, rather than, oh, I could come home from work and sit down and be like, hey, yo, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? I'm pretty sure, okay, ladies in here, you might have heard of something pretty similar to that. Mitchell, I really wish I learned or heard all the relationship advice before I had those horrible ones I went through. I think the beautiful thing about this is everything happens for a reason, Cynthia, and it couldn't have happened any other way. And the reason why you found me and you thought like, hey, you know, this is good, valuable information is because let's just say if you haven't went through this, chances are you're not gonna really be as invested. And one of the quotes that I remember was, you know, when a student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? And so in this time in your life right now, that's when you realize, you're like, hey, you know what, this is what we need. Let's see. I appreciate everybody commenting, by the way. So, you know, feel free to add comments, because I would love to read it too as I'm reading this video newsletter. Let's see. It would be hard to believe with a sudden I love you. What do you mean by that, Jordan? I never thought I would find a relationship coach like you are. I never even thought about being a relationship coach until I was in a situation where I was like, you know what? I need to become better. If I don't become better, how can I be in a good relationship? And if I want to learn a little bit more, and this is something I'm passionate about, this is something that I feel like I'm putting on this earth to do, and I wait, like, It's been years. Bree, you already know I've been doing lives for since COVID. Since COVID, even slightly pre-COVID, but like since COVID, I've been doing it, and it's been like 4 or 5 years, and I'm still doing the exact same thing because I love what I do, right? I'm 16, so I hope your advice will help me once I start dating. I don't know. This help. You're 16. I wish I was 16 years old and I knew this. Okay, I'm 30 something right now. All right. Um, you're getting the best advice from my coach that I've learned from. So I wish I was in your position. Really, I really am. I'm a little envious. But I mean, sudden little things like you find it hard to believe. I'm 80 years old. I'm still listening. Yes, you're still going strong. Okay, let me continue with this. So in this video newsletter, she explains that I have begun to lose hope and feel insecure in a relationship, right? Because he stopped being the leader of the relationship. And as a man in a relationship, you're supposed to be the one that provides and protect, right? So it doesn't matter as long you're supposed to be that guy as long as you're in the presence of females, whether it's your mom or anybody, kids, right? Children, whatever. You're supposed to be the person to protect. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's just, of course you protect your family first, but if you see somebody doing something bad, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna step in because that's what masculine energy is. You are not too old. Anyways, so as a man, you're supposed to be the person that protects, okay? Especially in the presence of women, kids, okay? Like, you're supposed to be there to protect. Now, what she's saying is that she doesn't trust your masculine core. As I mentioned before, and this is by Coach Corey Wayne. So if you guys are ever interested, please check out his channel because I learned a lot, so much from him. So big shout out to Coach Corey Wayne. And so he says, masculine energy is about purpose, okay? It is about drive. It is about mission. It's about succeeding, accomplishing, breaking through barriers, and overcoming challenges. And these are things that a man should do. And I'm not saying that, oh, only man could be masculine energy, right? Women could be masculine too, right? So masculine and feminine energy does not have a gender. But what you're supposed to focus on is what is your natural essence? What is your more dominant essence? My dominant essence is masculine energy. So I go through things, and guess what? I have feminine energy too. It doesn't mean I don't have any feminine energy, but if you think about what my feminine energy is, my feminine energy comes with creativity sometimes. So some of you may already know I like dancing. So creative energy, right? Creation, right? Just think about women giving birth, right? That's creation, right? You're creating a person, okay? That's feminine energy. Now, in terms of creativeness, me dancing, okay? And this is just me dancing. So I have to put my input on how I deem or what I consider, hey, this is what this dance should look like. That's my feminine energy. But guess what happens? How I harness and how I hone that masculine energy is when I'm on stage, when people have their eyes on me, I am fully fucking confident at what I do. Because why? I've done enough to feel confident, and I feel competent on doing the things that I do. I'm so looking forward to becoming 30. It's like the mature working adult era. You is it Lisa? You have no idea how much knowledge that you're getting that before you, like, YouTube didn't have this, right? So it's crazy. So I'm so happy for you. The positive outlook, it's good. Yeah. So anyways, that's masculine energy, okay? Accomplishing goals. So it's being a leader in the relationship. It's making things happen. And so what happened is, in this situation, for the past 9 months, the guy in this relationship, he has not been showing through any type of actions that he is being competent, right? And now what she said was, I don't feel like it's going anywhere and it's at a standstill. So in a relationship, you're going to watch each other grow. You're going to help each other, support each other grow, and become more than you are. Because that's where most people could flourish. That's how a relationship could flourish. But a lot of relationships right now, if you think about the relationships that even your parents were in before, they were human too, and they, unless they studied this, they're not going to know this. I didn't know this until I had to learn it myself. And I was like, wow, Mitchell, like if you actually want people to listen to you, you have to know what you're talking about. Well, if you also want people to like you, well, guess what? You have to be understanding. You have to be empathetic. So what does it mean? Also means that I need to be able to listen, because communication is not just talking. It's not just yelling and be like, no, you need to listen to me. It's more about what is it that I'm not doing right now that is causing you to feel upset about this relationship, because I want you to I want you to have a good relationship with me, because I care about you and I love you. So if I'm doing something that's causing you to feel unsafe or maybe feel insecure, like what is it, right? At some point you're going to take some part of personal responsibility for yourself to make sure that the other person feels good about them. Now it's not your job to make sure they're always good, because at to some point they have to take some personal responsibility as well. So it's Elisa, you said, so is it like if a woman has masculine energy, she's supposed to lead, or the man? Same for feminine men. So great question. So when it comes to masculine and feminine energy, it depends on what you hone the most. So like for me, I'm a man, but I'm a man that hones my more dominant essence, which is masculine energy. So I'm my focus is through action. I do things. I have to learn to, hey, you know what? I might have a bad day sometimes, but guess what? I'm going to learn what I need to do in order to solve this problem. Like there's a problem right now. I need to find a solution. Now the problem with too much masculine energy is I become someone that I'm just like fix. I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it. Now, when I have to understand women, guess what women do? Women love to talk. And when women talk, guess what happens? I'm in my masculine energy. I'm up here, right? Feminine energy is about feeling, right? Masculine energy is about logic and reasoning. So when she's telling me something, I'm like, Mitchell, you need to fix it, right? And I do that same. I do it sometimes, and I'm like, oh, Mitchell, you need to take a step back. I need to take a step back, and I need to listen to her, because right now she needs me to listen, because women solve their problems by talking about things. You ever notice if you could get like 4-5 women and together and they could talk about anything in the world, but eventually it'll all match. Everything will link back up. Let's see, jelly cake. Wait, let me read this first. Uh, if I can look at my younger self from 20 years ago, I wish I could say, be smarter who I am in a relationship with. Most are cycles and who aren't gonna take the relationship serious. Jellycake says, yes, if a partner can't help you with your growth, you will start feeling frustrated in your relationship. You'll build around negative feelings than good ones. Absolutely. Drink too much coffee. So let me continue on with this. Okay, so she doesn't feel safe. Everything's at a standstill. So nothing, you're not growing in a relationship. So it feels like everything is at a standstill. Now, where there's no growth, all right, there's no growth, and there's a lot of frustration, she says. There's a lot of friction, there's a lot of anger, and maybe some resentment too as well. So I put in some comments, which is one, you're going through a difficult time. You're going through a difficult time in this relationship. Right now, what I could suggest, if it's not too late, right now is a good time to both take a step back so that you're not in each other's faces. Both take a step back and not be so angry and resentful, because that's causing this roadblock of what you guys can't communicate. If you have already done that, then let's move on, because there's going to be more over here. Okay. And so continuing on with this video newsletter, she also continues saying, I don't want to give up on this relationship or on him, but I don't feel secure. I don't feel safe and comfortable. She's saying that she doesn't trust his masculine core, right? So she says that I wish that things would change because I don't want the relationship to end, but this is a deal breaker for me. I refuse to take care of any grown man who is more than capable of doing something with his life and take care of himself with or without me in the picture. So in womenese, okay, women's language, what she's saying is that she wants a leader in a relationship. That's masculine energy. He's gonna be the leader, right? So not and so she wants a leader in a relationship, not a dependent. She already has a kid. Plus, you're supposed to go into the relationship to share each other's completeness. And right now, what's happening is that he's not being a man in a relationship, and so he's not leading. And so she feels like she needs to pick up his slack. So she feels like she needs to lead, but she doesn't want to lead because her natural essence is more feminine energy. But she also has a kid too as well. So she's like, well, this is a lot of burden. You said that you were going to come into this relationship and do 50-50 for this apartment that we have. And now that you're going back on your words. And so that's why I stress so much about why when you say something that you're going to do it, you should always do it. You should always do it. That's why when I say that I'm going to do something, unless I forgot, then I will take personal responsibility for that. But if I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. When I tell you guys, I'm going to show up on my lives every Saturday at 12 o'clock. Sometimes it's 12:03. I'm sorry. But when that does happen, I still show up regardless. No matter what, I will always show up unless something major happens. Regina, me and my partner have a disagreement about the phone number on his phone. Is he being reluctant on showing you? Is he not willing to call that number? Like, what's going on? Thank you, Jelly Cake. Appreciate you. That's woman's problem. We don't want to give up the relationship so soon, right? And okay, so a lot of women, okay, they like to think about, hey, you know what? He will change. He's going to change because why? At one point, he was the man in the relationship. At one point, like in the beginning of January 2023, she was saying that he was dating her, he was courting her. Guess what happened? He stopped doing those things. And now on top of that, she will come home from work. She's not getting the appreciation. She's just like, well, I'm just existing here now. I just show up. And so it's so important for guys to, and I do this too, I get complacent. I get comfortable sometimes, but it's more important for me to catch on to these type of things. Like, am I being too comfortable? Am I too complacent? So what you could do as a guy is you could always judge her level of interest based off how much she cares about you, right? Yeah, right now, it sounds like she just has a roommate. It's platonic. And this is exactly how most relationship ends. Most relationship ends on being roommates because when one person stops leading, the other person starts losing respect for you. And when you lose respect for the person you used to love, love follows with respect. So you see this split, and you see this separation, aka divorce, aka breakup. Lisa says, does that mean masculine energy, which comes from the brain, is more logic and thinking, and feminine energy is more emotional? Sorry, by the way, I struggle to read. I'm not fluent in English. Yes, that's the gist of it. Yes. Cynthia says, there's another problem. He is gonna change. He's gonna do better. I'm just a roommate. Let's see. I asked him about it, and he told me that I should text number and he should tell me. Okay, that's not really telling me much. There's no intimacy or physical intimacy, right? So, yeah. So when a woman doesn't feel heard and understood, the likes close. But when I'm gonna tell you this, if you do everything right as a guy and you lead the relationship, you're like, hey baby, I love it when you wear that red dress. Something about that red dress, when you wear it, it looks gorgeous on you. And I want to take you out to dinner. You know, it's been a long time. I know I've been busy at work, and I want to take you out to dinner. So let's go somewhere. She'd be like, where? Don't worry about it. Just wear that red dress. I will get dressed too. Let's do something spontaneous. Let's just go somewhere, right? And now as a guy, I already know where I'm going. And so I'm leading that relationship. I'm taking her there, and I'm going to be the one that does everything. I do the planning. I do this. And all she has to do is sit there and look pretty. And if I do everything right as a guy, guess what's gonna happen? She's gonna feel so fucking safe and comfortable around me. And then now as we're eating, we're having a good time, we're laughing, we're having a good time, we're joking around, we're bantering, we make fun of each other, right? And when all that happens, guess what's gonna happen at the very end? She's gonna want me more than I will even want her. Like, if you do everything right as a guy, she is going to want you more than you want her. Okay. I was in this kind of relationship when I was the one with the masculine energy. I was the one taking most of the initiative, right? The excuse was that I was his first girlfriend, yeah. So women don't care about about how nice of a guy you are, how good of a guy you are. At the end of the day, there's certain things that you cannot break. If you don't know, you don't know, then learn. That's it. Then learn. You can't just be like, oh, I don't know, and just be okay with it. Like, I don't know, but I'm willing to learn. Jelly cake. What is there a book? Is there a book? Or is there? Yeah. Go check out Mitchell's podcast. Okay. It didn't change. Of course it didn't. Most people don't change. I started getting frustrated because I was to embrace my femininity too. So what you just said, Jelly Cake, is that you didn't feel safe and comfortable to be around him because he never did any of the initiation. But also because you initiated so much, he felt like, oh, it's okay for me to do this. It's like, no, like, as a guy, there's certain rules, there's certain things that you can't break. And if you're the guy and you're the masculine energy and you're supposed to be the guy that leads the relationship, and you have to learn it. You just can't be like, oh, I don't know. Like, that's not an excuse. He questioned me, saying that I don't trust him. Chances are he might be lying. Okay, Regina. There's a high probability if he's like telling you to do all this and he's not, be like, oh yeah, let me call her. Yeah. So, we're almost done. It says that, let's see, I refuse to take care of a man. So like I said, she wants a leader. She says, I'm disappointed in him and wish things would change. It's hard to talk about it. I don't know what she meant by it's hard to talk about it. Like, is it hard for him to talk about it too? Or is it hard for her to bring it up because he is unwilling? So that language is a little kind of mixed up here. But what if I could pick it out when she says it's hard to talk about it? I'm assuming that she tried to talk to him about it and he's unwilling to talk about it because maybe he's being a little evasive. And I'm not even sure if he wants the relationship. So it sounds like he already has one foot out the door already. And I'm not sure. So like I said before, I'm not sure how you guys are talking about certain things. And this goes for both parties. Are you guys communicating in ways where you're not criticizing each other? You're not being defensive, right? You're not belittling that person. You're not being disrespectful. Because if you want any type of relationship to work, it's really important to sit down and try to talk about it to the best of your own ability. Now, if that person, let's just say he doesn't want to talk about it, he's being evasive and he's like, very dismissive, then there's nothing that you can do about that. Like, you could try everything in the world, right? Bree, he doesn't want to talk. Let's see, man. He be cheating, then accuse me. I be effing busy with your twins. That's why his ass got beat up from another dude. No, that sounds bad. Or he has no idea what is even going wrong, what he's doing. Avoidant in the situation, disrespectful. Has started since he started gaslight and turn it around on you. Don't let men question y'all when they don't question their hoes. So he's being disrespectful. He's projecting. He's gaslighting. So it sounds like he's unwilling to take personal responsibility. Hey, something's going wrong. What I would suggest is also, like, what you can do is you could just try to sit down. Hey, I know something, and do it in a calm manner. Is there something that I'm doing that's causing you to not want to look for a job? Am I nagging too much? Am I saying certain things? Am I being too too unreasonable in this relationship, because if I am, please let me know. But what I am seeing, and by the way, is masculine and feminine energy only refer to how you act or your appearance. Masculine, like, it doesn't mean that you can't have muscles or anything. Like, it doesn't mean that women can't have muscles, right? It just means that how it's more so of how you act. So what you're looking for, Elisa, is if you're a woman and your natural essence is feminine energy, what you want to kind of hone, what you want to focus on is bonding, connecting, opening up to receive love. Like, that's what feminine energy is. It's talking about relationship labels. Masculine energy is about focus, drive, purpose, going for what you want, doing what you want. So for example, my masculine energy is, if I see a woman that I'm interested in, I'm going to talk to her. I'm going to be the one that leads that. So I'm going to pursue her. I would go and talk to her. I'd be like, "Hey, I think you're absolutely gorgeous. I saw you over there, and I just want to come up and say hi. Like, what are you doing here today? I'm just getting some coffee or whatever. Well, I'd love to take you out on a date. How does that sound?" And if she likes it and she likes who I am and she likes my confidence, then by all means, she'd be like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to go." Be like, "Great. Why don't you give me your number? What do you like to eat?" Because I'm getting suggestions. I'm saying, what do you like to eat? But I'm not saying like, "Oh, your highness, what would you like to eat? I could take you anywhere." But it's more like, "Yeah, what would you like? Like, is there certain things that you don't eat? So that I could pick out a restaurant for us. And then we could set up a time and a date for us." And that's what masculine energy is. And now, if as long as I'm doing that correctly, what's going to happen is that and if I do everything right, she's gonna want to be around me all the time. If she finds me interesting, right? Girl, you deserve someone who puts efforts for you. Have a talk with him, clear with all your needs, and put all on the table. If he doesn't try to work it out after that, he's not your person. Absolutely. And it's easier said than done, because this viewer over here is emotionally bonded with this person. So you're not just gonna just pick up and leave. As much as, like, you invested so much, and it's not easy to just put that all down, especially a year. A year might not seem like as a lot for a lot of people, especially if we're not in her shoes. But you don't know how much that person has invested into this relationship. So that's why I always try to have this understanding where, it's I'm not in this person's in the shoe, but what I can do is at least try to empathize for you. Let's see. I'm not sure. Okay, so we're almost done. So she also continues saying that, "I think living apart would be the best move in order for him to do what he needs to do, or he's gonna completely cut me off because of the choice I am making." And woman needs, she's saying that if nothing's going to change, that it is better that he goes and figure this out on his own. So you have to participate in your own rescue. Now, she says that, "I am terrified of that happening. After all, we've endured and overcame so much." And this is the reality. And I always love listening to Tony Robbins. So is it Elisa? You're 16. Listen to Tony Robbins, okay? Like, you're if you're understanding this right now and you're curious about it, listen to Tony Robbins, because he's gonna give you a lot of great advice too as well. Um, Tony Robbins taught my coach. My coach taught me. So you can already tell, like, where the lineage is coming from. So here's the reality, okay? And Tony Robbins says, "Do what you did in the beginning of the relationship, and there won't be an end." So in the beginning of the relationship, he was leading, he was confident, he was courting her, he was listening to her, he made her feel like she is the most important person in the world. What ended up happening was he stopped displaying those type of behaviors, because he's like, well, maybe he's like, "Yeah, I got her already. I don't need to do this anymore because she won't ever leave, etc." Whatever. But if you did what you did in the beginning of the relationship, there wouldn't be an end. The reality is, it doesn't matter. So us as guys, okay, and for the men listening to this, you could be in a relationship for 3 years, 10 years, 30 years. It doesn't matter. The moment you stop displaying behaviors of masculine energy, meaning that you stop leading, you stop being that person that leads, that makes her feel safe and comfortable to open up to you, she's going to leave you. So if you stop dating and courting her, and you stop listening to her, and you stop making her feel heard and understood, she's gonna leave you, because she's like, this guy doesn't understand me anymore. Before he did, before he wanted, more from me, he was willing to put in a lot of time. What changed? And so and like I said, just because you're married, or you have a mortgage, or you have kids together, or you have all those together, and you think that she's not gonna leave you, she's gonna leave you. And I don't know what the statistics are, but if you think about it, there's like over 50% of divorce rates. There's over 50%. I think it's like 73, 74% of, yeah, it's like 70, 73, 74% of like divorce rates, especially like, and it's usually women are the one initiating it. It's because usually it's the guy that stops leading in the relationship. Most of the time, guys are just cool being simple the way they are. And it sounds like I'm bashing on a guy. It really sounds like I'm like, hey, you need to step up your game and you need to do this. Absolutely I am. And here's the reason why. The reason why I'm bashing you on this is because if you carry this on, maybe this relationship didn't work, but if you carry this on to the next relationship, or to any relationship, guess what's going to happen again? It's going to repeat itself. So it's in your best interest to continue on to better yourself, so that history doesn't repeat itself. At least if you're going to make a mistake, make a different one so that you can learn from it, right? Otherwise, you keep making the same mistake, and you already know the definition of that. So that's the reality. It doesn't matter. You could be together for 30 years. You could do everything right. The moment you stop leading, about 6 to 12 months, that's usually the time frame. She's going to be like, yeah, your ass is out. And so my job as a coach is to get people to be, if this is not where you want to be in your life, and you're tired of it, and you want to become better, and you're like, I need a change, this is the place for you. And if you're like, well, I'm perfect, I don't need to change, they need to change from me, women need to change to whatever, then you have this attitude of everybody needs to work for you. You're the guy that owns the road. And so you could like, you feel like everybody needs to submit to you when you haven't done anything for yourself. That's not how life works. So there's a reason why most women does a dumping. Okay, it's about 70%, right? Divorce rates, especially initiated by women. You gave your word that you would be joined together as a team, and you went back on it. So nobody's gonna trust you on that. How can anybody trust you, let alone your girlfriend or your wife? So to the guy, now this is where I will have a little bit more sympathy for him, because I only got I only heard it from her. So to the guy, I don't know what your current situation is. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what kind of difficult time you're having right now. And maybe that's why you're putting it off on playing video games, playing Call of Duty with your cousin. I don't know what you're going through. But whatever it is, whether it is this relationship or the next, what you have to do is that you have to listen to yourself and be aware about what is going on, and you need to seek some help for yourself. Otherwise, nothing will change. Nothing will change for you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid like I was, to speak up for yourself when things are going wrong. Don't avoid no matter if it hurt your feelings or because it's a disagreement. At least you told your truth. You want somebody that's emotionally intelligent. And the reason why is because, Bree, right? What you're saying over here, it's like, if you have someone, and this goes for everybody, if you have someone that's emotionally intelligent and you're having a problem right now, you're going to be able to talk to them, and you're going to be able to communicate like, this is what's going on, this is what's bothering me, This is why I'm feeling like this. Maybe you're jealous, maybe you're upset about a certain situation, whatever it may be. And a person that's emotionally intelligent will sit there and listen to you. This person's not going to think about themselves, about this is what you're pissing me off. Jellycake, it says, it's not easy to be the one that's gonna take the decision for her. Someone who loves you will put in effort to keep you around. Just do your part and communicate your needs. If he doesn't, even after all the discussion, don't live in frustration. Otherwise, it will eat you alive. Absolutely. Cynthia says, lack of communication and so much control has made me leave. Uh, Not gonna stay in a relationship that won't talk, but you find your way to find a way to control you, so you left. He thought I was gonna stay forever. And most people think they do. Most people think that relationship will stay forever. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, if you stop displaying those type of behaviors, anybody's gonna leave you. um let's see, where did I leave off? Okay, so I was telling the guy, I was like, hey, we don't know what you're going through, but maybe right now you might feel a little defeated. Perhaps maybe it's something on her end. Maybe she could have communicated differently. Maybe she was yelling at you. Maybe she said it in a tone that really pissed you off, that caused you to be like, well, fuck it, I don't want to talk to her if she's being a bitch then. Okay, but communicate that. If things are bothering you, communicate that. If things are bothering both of you, you have to be willing to communicate that. So that's why I say that it's so important right now, if it's still salvageable, to both take a step back and not be in each other's faces and just communicate. Can we communicate in a way where we're not at each other's throats, but I want to listen to you because I love you and I care about you and I still want this relationship to work? Can you do that? And most people, if they are willing to, they will try. I've been in situations where I'm the one that's trying to be like, hey, I understand what you're saying, but can I say something? They're like, sure, go ahead. And I'm like, all right, this is what, and then they go and interrupt me. I'm like, hey, I have the floor now. This is what I need to talk about. You had your turn. Can I talk? And they'd be like, fine, go ahead. And then they interrupt me again. I'd be like, right now, there's no communication. You're not allowing me to speak. And when you don't allow me to speak, how can I get my point across? And if I can't get my point across and you're unwilling to listen, that's the end of it. And it's because of you being unwilling to want to listen. And so I can't do anything if you're unwilling to listen. And a lot of people, they react versus responding. So whatever you guys are going through, and number one is you must be willing to communicate with her. Otherwise, relationships won't work. It doesn't matter, any type of relationship, it will carry over to any type of relationship. So like I said, my biggest suggestion is for you right now is to communicate, assuming that you still want the relationship to work. Because when you learn to communicate, you're building up a skill for yourself to be able to confront situations together as a team. That's what you're able to do. And the more you're able to communicate with each other, the less bullshit you will ever take from anybody that won't ever try to listen to you. Because I know this world is very selfish, and there's a lot of people out there that's unwilling to listen to anybody but themselves. So whatever you tolerate, you invite more of. So if you no longer tolerate people that disrespects you, that won't listen to you, guess what? They're not going to be around, and you're only going to be around good people that's willing to listen, that's willing to communicate. And that's something that we have to build for ourselves. Otherwise, we will just allow anybody to come into our lives and make our lives feel miserable. Life is already hard enough as it is. Why make it more difficult? And so, that being said, that was an entire episode. Sorry that took a little bit too long, but there was a lot to be said. Bree, he said, and every time I would hear him say he's going to fix, nothing will happen. I feel like I've been lied to. Yeah, nobody enjoys being lied to, right? If you're gonna lie to me about this thing, what makes you think that I could believe you on the other thing? So how can you trust anybody? And loyalty is the number one most important thing for us, guy. So why are we not saying the things that's honest that we need to talk about? They have so much masculine energy, me. I don't. So, if you feel like you have a lot of masculine energy, it's well, how can you bring that back down? Because in some way, shape, or form, we operate best when we're at our center, and our center is to be happy. You know what was, you know what's something that I was. So I came back from the gym today, right? And I've noticed something that I started doing. Okay, don't laugh at me. So I don't have an ice maker. So and I don't want to put ice in the freezer. I don't know why. Okay, I'm just lazy. Okay, and so when I go to the gym that I go to now, there's a McDonald's that I will stop by, and the McDonald's I don't need to talk to nobody. I just want ice. I'm not getting like fountain drinks. I just want ice. Okay, so that being said, I just get ice. And what I've noticed is anytime I drive there, I always try to like see if, hey, because I have a McDonald's app, I like to use the McDonald's deals. So I would like to buy random things on the app with the deal because one, it's cheaper, and two, they get more out of it. And so I will randomly go to somebody and be like, hey, do you like French fries and chicken nuggets? They'd be like, yes. Why? I was like, well, it's because I'm buying it for you today. They're like, huh? Why? And I was like, well, I came in here for ice because I don't have ice at home and I want ice. Yes, I could put things in the fridge, but I don't want to. But yeah, I just want ice. But I don't want to just come in here and just steal ice. I mean, I don't think McDonald's care about me getting ice, but I just, I wanna at least get something. And so, yeah, would you like that? They're like, yeah, that's so cool. Thank you. And what I've noticed is, of course, like if you're able to give, you're at a very blessed place. You're at a very blessed place because not a lot of people are able to do that because everybody's too much into thinking about what they could get for themselves. But what I've noticed is, anytime I could share anything to anybody, whether it's advice or food or whatever it may be, I could be at Costco. I'll buy a whole fucking pizza and be like, would you like a slice? I'll walk around and be like, hey, do you want a slice? And it's because if I am able to give, not only does that make me a happier person, because if you have $100, right? They did a study. If you spend $100 on yourself versus using that $100 and spent it on somebody that you felt like deserved it, you will feel a lot better. And this is just food and it's not expensive. It's like $5-10. And so because I was able to do something like that, I've noticed that I'm like, wow, like Mitchell, like this is different. I was never able to do that because at one point I didn't have a job and I couldn't give $5 to $10. I really didn't, right? Let alone with the whole inflation. And so what I realized is if you're able to be ever at a place where you could feel like you're giving and you're having a great time giving it, you're more blessed than a lot of people. And so I want you guys to even be able to do that. And don't do it out of like, oh, I want to get something out of it. But it's more like, hey, it could be any random person. Have a game about it. I had a game where I was like, the first person that comes in with a white car that's going to go through a drive-thru, I'm going to ask them if they want whatever, right? And so you could, have some fun with it, right? Or just buy the food and be like, the next person that comes in, can we give that to them? And if they don't want it, we could give it away to the next person or something like that. And I could guarantee you that you're gonna find life a little bit more fun, a little bit more fulfilling, and you're just gonna be able to enjoy life a little bit more. I don't know how else to explain it. I haven't dissected it yet. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Sorry, healing process. Yeah, it's a healing process, Mar. You'll be okay. I can't imagine you going to McDonald's and then you'd be like, hey, I that's exactly what I did. That's exactly, hold on. I literally straight up, like, I just took my Do you want to see my ice? I had left it in the fridge. Like, because I have a shaker bottle. I go to the gym, so I just use that shaker bottle and I just fill it with ice. I don't put anything else in it. It's just ice. Thank you, Tracy. I went to McDonald's, bought juice, just to use the bathroom. You have show receipt. Oh, I never picked up the juice. That's such a nice view. It's like giving. I like giving as well. It just gives me joy when I know you make someone happy. Yeah, right. Um, the other one was like I bought the nuggets and the French fries for. So I made a friend actually. His name is Brian. He works at a bubble tea spot. So I went in with the purpose of getting ice, and I was like, let me buy some nuggets, and it comes with two large fries. Why not? So I bought it, and I was like, well, there's a homeless guy out there. Maybe he's hungry, but he don't need two large fries and 20 nuggets. Let me give some fries away. So I was like, hey, do you work at that bubble tea shop because you wearing that t-shirt thing? He's like, yeah, yeah. And I was like, cool. Like, do you like French fries? And he was like, yeah. Like, I was like, cool. Would you like a large French fries? I'm not gonna eat it. It's too much. And he was like, sure, yeah. I was like, yeah. Let me just wait for it, and I just hand it to you. He was like, oh, cool. And then when the food came, I went out. I was like, where the hell did that homeless guy go? Because I didn't tell him to stay. I just went in and got it. And he disappeared. He was at the bus stop. He was not at the bus stop when the food arrived. So I was like, shit. So I was like, hey, Brian, I lied. So the food was never for me to begin with. It was for that. There was this homeless guy out there, but he disappeared. I don't know how he disappeared. He's wearing this red shirt. It's easy to spot red, but I can't find him. I was like, do you think you could like maybe like take this back to your work, or maybe share it to some of your coworkers or whatever it may be? Because there's no way I'm not going to eat this. It's a lot of food, right? It's such a nice view. Do you healing? You deserve better treatment. Love yourself and take care of your feelings. Your peace of mind, because no one knows better than you, right? I've been giving away food to homeless. He asked me if I got crack and nice. Yeah. There's certain people that don't deserve certain things. So if I got someone food and they're like, oh, I hate French fries, I'll be like, well, maybe this order is not meant for you today, right? Oh, thank you, Jelly Cakes, and I appreciate you for coming in. Like, I usually don't get random viewers. It's usually from like different. So, make something I'm doing is right, right? So, thank you for all the new viewers coming in. So I really appreciate you. I do this live every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. Can you pass some French fries over here, please? Look, I wish I could show you the app. It's such a great deal. $7. Well, it used to be $5 for 20 nuggets, and you get two large French fries. Now it's 7. So inflation hit, but I could still afford the extra $2. Right? I'd be like, I don't know the sauce, but I would take a wild guess that everybody likes sweet and sour. Is it sweet and sour? Yeah. Which country? United States. So I'm in California. So so whatever your time is, subtract 1 hour every Saturday. Okay. Whatever your time is right now, subtract 1 hour. Or you could just follow my Instagram or my TikTok. It's at Mr. MR Mitchell Tang. So first and last name. Yeah. Well, everybody seems to know that it's Bree that wrote to me now. So I tried my best to keep it, but since it's Bree's newsletter. I hope this has helped you a bit, Bree, and it gave you some sort of knowledge of how to at least operate from here, where you've tried and you've done everything that you can. And it's not your job to change that person. It is only your job to align yourself with the right person, assuming that you worked on yourself in that sense too as well. Because life is about this journey about growing and becoming more than you are. What was that quote by Jim Rohn? You can have more than you are. You can have more than you got because you can become more than you are. On the flip side of the coin is, unless what was it? Unless you become more than you are, then you'll always get what you got. Oh, that's why. Yeah, I think your English is perfect, jelly cake. So, France. Oh wow. Bonjour. Okay. Um, Pacific time, honey mustard. I don't like honey mustard, but they don't. But they don't have that. They still have it over here. I'm trying to cut. All right. I'm trying to cut. I'm trying to lose some weight a little bit. Some little tiny body fat. It's almost June. You know what June is? Mitchell's turning old. Okay, that's what it means. And when Mitchell turns old, he needs to be in his best shape of his life. Oh, I'm gonna start bringing like honey mustard and start selling it. $2. $2. Um, yeah, you gotta get past the hump. Okay. Wow. I really like this. I actually would prefer more video newsletters like this. I feel like hang out with friends here. Yeah, you are. You are. And another big thing is my place is it's drama free. Okay, it's drama free. I don't like dealing with people that talk shit about another person. If anybody ever talks shit to people in here, especially if they didn't do anything to you, their ass getting booted out. All right, right behind you, growing up. Yeah. So we have a choice of becoming bitter, or we have a choice of becoming better. So the choice is yours. Everybody in here, they want their life to be better. So if you're in here and you're watching this, chances are you want your life to be better. So why not grow together, right? Drama free life, right? So yeah, everybody's respectful. Me too. It's refreshing to have this chill atmosphere. Way more different than Instagram, especially. You'd be surprised. TikTok's pretty crazy. But anyways, if you guys are ever interested, feel free to follow my other socials. I like dancing. I like playing video games a lot. Okay, I might do another episode. I might do something different. Okay, I think Cynthia, I've told you about this too, but I might do like some acupressure, some like martial arts stuff that I've learned from like a long time ago, and to helping because that's part of my job now. Okay, a lot of people come to me and be like, "Hey, I'm hurt. Can you do this?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I can. If the price is right, hell yeah, I can." Yeah, yeah. Well, I used to play Super Smash Brothers Melee. That game is older than you. Okay. So yeah, all my content's different, but my main focus right now is relationships because I want to have a fucking loving relationship with myself. With myself. Yeah, I'm gonna go and dance. Anyways, thank you all. Thank you all for all your time. I really appreciate your time as always. I'll catch you guys on the next live next Saturday. All right, 12 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah. So much fun. So much fun. Thank you.